And we're live. This is Trina and Luisa from You Inside You. Welcome. We have some amazing information and techniques we want to talk about today. But first of all, we want to tell you that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. You're exactly where you are supposed to be in life. What does that mean, Louise, when we say that?
Well, if you were supposed to be somebody somewhere else, you would. With everything you have created, everything that your limiting beliefs or your experience in your life has brought you exactly to where you are.
So let's
So if you
celebrate
want,
that, right? Let's celebrate that for a moment.
that was tough for me in the beginning.
So wherever you're at, like, let's just look around status in life. I'm here. I've created all of this. I've created success in my life. I've attracted the people in my life that I'm in. Yes.
Yes. And for me, when I learned that wasn't easy. It was just like I could hear that little voice. Oh, did I do that? Did I create this? Why? Why did I do that?
Yes.
Yeah. So I had to figure out why I did that, how I did that. That was a huge step. The first step is acceptance, I think, that I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. And then the realization of if I want something else, I have to do something else, be somebody else, or change. Ooh. We as human like to everything that stays the same, but if we want something different, we have to take that pathway of change.
Yes, absolutely. Do something different, right?
Yeah.
I think there's two parts to this realization of where I'm at in my life. And I can just kind of hear some people out there be like, yeah, Trina, I am not where I want to be in life. Because our human brain is wired to kind of look for problems, and a culture full of identifying problems and identifying what's wrong with our life and what we don't like. And that's just kind of what a lot of our conversations are based by. I'm starting to notice that when I talk to my friends, and I have this gear that I go into and be like, yeah, it's kind of a great week, but, and then there's this tendency to like kind of want to bring up the problems from the week. So I think our brains are just kind of trained and wired to look at all the things that are wrong in our lives. And I think this is really why we want to celebrate this moment of reminding you that you are exactly where you're supposed to be in life. All the learnings, all the expansions, all the lessons in life and the growth that's happening in life. You will still continue to grow, but let's just acknowledge that you have made it this far. Like, you have attracted all this yummy stuff into your life. Yes, a lot of it, right? A lot of stuff.
Exactly, because we have a tendency, as you just said, to focus on the negative, but there are also good things in your life.
Yes.
You have created those as well.
Yeah, so let's talk about the other part of it, right?
Exactly. It could be your beautiful kids. It could be the house you want to live in, or the area where you live.
Yeah.
There are so many things. It could be the flower in the garden that you love, or that when it's hot, you have a pool. That's the good things that you have created as well. So don't not only focus on the negative things you have created, because there are many things that are good in your life that you have also created.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
I forgot that.
Yes, just such a reminder. Yeah.
We know what we don't want because we already have it, but we don't know what we want.
Because it sounds familiar, because it feels unfamiliar, because it feels scary. It's unknown.
Yeah, but I don't see it as a scary thing because it was just facts.
Sure.
I know what I don't want, and I
Mhm.
know, but I couldn't put it into words
Yeah.
what I really wanted then.
Mm.
I couldn't be specific. Well, I
Yeah.
just want to feel better. I
Mm.
just want to be more happy.
Right.
But it's so broad and so general.
Mhm.
So to do take the actual steps
Yeah.
towards what it is that I wanted was
Right.
just as big.
Absolutely. And we noticed that we kind of help people put the words to this process. Like we provide a vocabulary for people in terms of this is what I want. A lot of the people that we work with in the master classes and our program, they say, I did not know I needed this. Like I understand now what it is that I needed, and you just introduced it to me. You just provided me. I now have the words. I understand the process. I can
Yeah,
catch myself.
I I
I know
just
what
had
to
a
do.
exactly. I just had a client today, and she said, I'm just translating from Danish to English. It was
Yeah,
just like,
and bear with you.
yeah, thank you for dressing me and preparing me for what position I just got at my work.
Oh, that's amazing.
She just got a promotion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you step into your true authentic self and you now know what you want, how to express it, how to give credit to yourself that you made this happen, right? I landed this promotion. I'm showing up as who I am. I'm worthy of this. I deserve this, right? So when you truly embody that and you're walking into a new thing, you will carry yourself with the experience, right? You
Mhm.
take yourself into the experience and you are more equipped, more dressed for that experience, because the only thing that's different in different situations is just the circumstances. You bring you with you everywhere.
Exactly. And it's you controlling the experience and not the other way around.
Yes. We demand we demand the the presence. We show
Mhm.
up the way we want to be and things will happen, right? It's not the other way around.
Mm,
It's when things happen, then all of a sudden I could be myself. It
exactly.
doesn't really work that way. That's how we feel stuck. That's how we feel confused. And it reminds me, Louise, it reminds me a lot about people that we see, the women that we see that comes in and they're like, I've become so aware of my life and I've become so aware of my role that I play in my life that I'm so almost disgusted and terrified because what did I do, Trina? Like, what did I do in my life? I have all this cleanup. I made a mess. Am I even the right role model with my kids? And I make so many mistakes and I, fall down and I get myself up and I'm beating myself up and I feel guilty about it. And it's like all of a sudden, when we become aware of awareness and we're realizing how responsible we are for the decisions that we made in life, and it's really not about other people, it can be rather confusing and worrisome. And if anybody out there kind of feel
Mm.
like that, we just kind of want to reassure you and say you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Like you are supposed to feel that way, because when we finally kind of wake up and we realize, oh my gosh, I play a role in everything. Now you have the choice to step into being who you are and show up exactly how you want to be
And do
in
something
every moment.
differently. Yeah, do something
Doing
differently. Just small steps
yes,
can be huge steps in the long
yeah.
run.
Mm. But with kindness and patience for yourself. If we keep judging ourselves and feeling guilty and blaming ourselves for we could have done it better. I mean, how many times have I looked myself in the mirror and thought about all the mistakes, they're more learnings for me. But before I called them mistakes. Now they're more like, oh, okay, now I know better. I can do differently, right? We used to say that all the time. when I know better, I do better, right? So I think this is really important, that we recognize that, okay, we see where we're learning and now we do differently, but with the kindness and the patience for ourselves throughout the journey. Isn't that just important?
Exactly. But I'm sitting here thinking, if we should give something to our audience. So when you say you're exactly where you're supposed to be,
yeah,
what was your first step in doing differently? In which area did you do differently? Did you choose to do something different?
I'm not even sure. Like,
can you remember?
Yeah. I think I was very focused on myself in the beginning, like being kinder with myself.
But isn't that selfish, Trine?
Oh, I love that question. I thought so because I'm really supposed to be there for everyone else. But no, it's not selfish, because if I can't be who I am and I can't be clear about who I am, everybody else is going to be confused. Everybody else is going to not really know where they have me. And just because we focus on ourselves doesn't mean that we do everything for ourselves. We can still do for others. We just check in with ourselves to make sure we have ourselves. We bring ourselves into the situation, making sure that it feels right for us. So I think I would check in a lot. I'd be more clear about what I wanted. I think that was the big pivotal moment in getting away from the complaining on what I did not want. Instead, I was like, oh, there's something on the other side. Okay, so if I don't want this, I'm starting to learn a little bit about momentum and what I focus on, and the seeds that I water, that they kind of grow more than, if I water all the weeds in the garden, now I get more what I don't want. So really focusing on what I do want in life, and every time I catch myself, I would pivot to that. Like, wait a minute, I'm going to get off the complain train. Oh, the complaint train.
Can you give an example?
Um,
So if you were complaining over,
I'll use my kids again. It's a safe one for me. I would be tired of them whining and complaining before going to bed. Like, I would run into like the same thing over again, and I would be like, I don't want to do this anymore, and I would be start yelling at them and complaining that they were not listening and why would they do this. Instead, I started imagining how I want my bedtime routine to be. I wanted it to be calm. I wanted it to be connected. I wanted them to go to bed with feeling good about themselves.
You being present.
Me being very present, allowing whatever is in the moment, which I really had to shift because they were a different place than I wanted them to be. And so I kind of had to step into their situation and allow them, meet them what they're at, really. So I had to shift a lot of things. But really having that picture, I visualize a lot. I like to visualize, how do I feel? What am I doing in the moment? How am I speaking? What does that sound like? How am I connecting with my child? What is my child saying? How are they looking at me? Like that connection. So I'm like visualizing everything, the texture of it, the smells, the sounds, and it's so important, right? To really visualize and connect with that feeling.
But Trine, did you have time for this? We know a lot of women have a lot of different hats on. Some of us have a career, some young children. We have housework, we have the laundry, the dishes, we have the cleaning. So, because I can remember when my kids were home, there was always something to do. So yes. If you at that time told me to
Yeah.
relax, lower your
Yeah.
voice, be present. I will
Yeah.
just say to you,
That's not
yes,
happening.
that's not happening.
Yes. Yeah. No, Louise, this is interesting, right? Because we both know that if we want to create momentum, usually in the opposite direction, we kind of got to get to neutral first. So if we're on kind of the complaint train, I have to put that to a halt, really being present in the moment and shifting. Laundry can do that, or dishes can do that. If we're really just focusing on the task and we kind of get off those thoughts, then we can kind of center ourselves. Be present in the moment. Just focus on your breathing. Those thoughts are going to go away. It's all temporary.
So when you say put yourself in neutral, do
Mm-hmm.
you mean like acceptance? This is how it is right now. It doesn't have to be like that always, but I have to accept it, be
Yes.
neutral,
Yes.
before I can make another step that is more positive.
Yeah, there's definitely acceptance in it, of understanding that I don't want to be on the complaint train. You have to know that that's just part of human life, and normalizing that and accepting that. And the neutral part is part of acceptance, and is really just not thinking about anything. So really focusing on something that's super neutral, like dishes. Like really focusing on nothing to do with the past and nothing to do with the future. So otherwise we can't jump trains. So if we're really
So
on the
if
train
if,
and
if this, I'm when I do this, it's because there's something inside of me. There's something different, and I have a great ego to do that for me. So when you don't think about the present or don't think about the future,
yeah,
I have to think not about the dishes, because
yeah,
that is something I know I have to do when the kids are put into bed.
uh-huh.
But just like when did that, I was thinking, oh, we have to brush our teeth, we have to get the PJs, we had to, so just like
Mhm.
occupying my brain of the steps that we're doing, that we're in. Is that
Yes,
what you
that's
mean?
exactly what I mean. So if I am doing the dishes right now, and I'm glad you clarified that, because I don't want to think about the dishes that needs to be done if I'm not
Exactly.
doing it. Yeah, I love that. So anything that you're doing in the moment and you're thinking about this past event, I want you to focus on your present action. So
Okay.
I'm putting on my socks right now. I am, cleaning the dishes. I'm wiping this off, like almost like talking out loud. So really getting yourself in the moment to create a different momentum. I love how you say you don't have time for visualizing what you really want and desire. But think about this, we have like 70,000 thoughts in the day. I think research says a lot of things, but we have a lot of thoughts in the day. A majority of those thoughts have really spent a lot of either future thoughts, past thoughts, and a lot about evaluating problems, identifying
Analyzing.
problems, analyzing. Can you imagine? Like, let's say you're doing your dishes and you're not being present with the dishes. What are you thinking about? You're thinking about your grocery list. You're thinking about, I should have done this instead with my kids. I really don't like when they do this, like a lot of self-judgment and self-criticism,
And
right?
why don't my husband do the dishes? Why I'm putting the kids to bed?
Absolutely, right? So
Blaming.
think about all of those thoughts that you spent, all the energy, all the time that you spent on those thoughts. If you were able to just kind of catch them 7 seconds in and realizing, well, I'm not going to go down the complaint train. This is my moment to shift. What if you spend 90% of those thoughts that you usually spend on
Mm.
identifying the
So,
problems?
so I need a picture on it in my head to
Uh-huh.
understand your explaining.
Uh-huh.
So next time I'll do the dishes, I can use
Mhm.
that time visualizing how I want the bedtime routines to be. Is that
Correct.
what you're saying?
Yes. So as soon as you're present with the dishes, you're doing the dishes, you're present with the dishes. Now you're neutral. So now you can shift gear. Now you can start visualizing what it is that you want.
And use that time instead of complaining.
Yes.
Mm.
Isn't that like time well spent? So We all say we don't have time for it, but we have plenty of time because we spend so much of our time just yapping away with our ego and being like, yeah, I should have done this and I could have done that. But instead, why don't we dream about and visualize how we want it to be different next time? We call this rehearsing. It can be really healthy in a way that you are starting to manifest the outcomes that you want. The brain doesn't know the difference between future and past. So if you already make it happen in your head, then it will be.
So I will just give like examples where you can begin to visualize when you do something that you just do automatically anyway. So when you're driving, disclaimer, be aware of the people around you and the other cars.
We're not talking about doing meditation and closing your eyes here.
No, we're talking about when you're sitting and listen to the news, turn down the news and begin to visualize how you would like to, example, the bedtime at night going, or when you're doing the dishes, as I said before, folding the laundry. You can do that with your eyes closed because you've done it so many times before. So use that time instead of complaining or thinking about the things that you lack in life or you're missing in your life. That how would you want to spend your next vacation, or what is your morning routine? How should that look like, or something else you want to improve in your life? So when you go through that morning routine, you begin to see your visualization comes into your life.
Yeah.
So there are many areas where we're on the complaint train, but where we can use that time even better.
Absolutely. I love that. And then recognizing again that you're exactly where you're supposed to be, people in your
That's
life.
sometimes easier said than done.
It's why we're reminding that the people around us, the situations around us are exactly here to help us become more of who we are, to learn more about being in situations where we can practice showing up as who we are and practicing identifying what we want and identifying our desires. It's all there for us. And this is a tough one. You're right. To really seeing that as a gift. A lot of people who work with me hear me say that a lot. This is a gift. This is a gift to you.
Yeah.
And
one of my
clients, as a gift, right?
One of my clients asked me if she could return that gift, or just like if she could, pass it on, or return it to cash instead, or
oh my God, that's hilarious.
or a spa day.
Yes. And we can laugh of it. I mean, this is the most important thing that we understand, that we can just laugh at this.
And the only reason why we can laugh at it is because we can recognize ourselves in that process earlier in our life. So we don't laugh at people being in that situation.
No.
Because we feel you. We know where you are, and you're right on track.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This was great.
Yeah.
This is a great reminder. This is I don't think that we can talk about this enough. I know a lot of people are just they're not around people that talk about this stuff. So I think this is one of the biggest reasons that we want to celebrate this, bring it out there, remind you of it. And we have a masterclass tomorrow. We're really excited. Sign up. We'll provide the link. We're talking about how to say goodbye to the inner critic. There's really also what we're talking about today, being more of who you are, stepping into your true self, being decisive, and stop criticizing yourself so much.
And stop self-sabotaging.
Stop self-sabotaging. I love it. So thank you guys for being with us today. We will talk to you and see you soon. Bye.